And we are live. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on Dan-A-Plooza. My final guest for the Dan-A-Plooza September show is returning guest, actor and producer James Quinn.
Danny, how are you, sir?
Good, good. Good to have you on the show again.
Yeah, it's good to sit down with you again.
You're welcome. So for those watching and future watching, James is an actor and producer. He has been in many different projects. His current project is The 12th Letter. You may have seen him also in Dizzy Boy Productions, No Knock List. He has also been in a movie called The Boonies, and he also has the movie The Sandman, which you could see right above his shoulder, that he is also a part of. So James has been involved in multiple things. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out right now.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Dan. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's what I call the plug segment.
Right. Well plugged, well done.
Plug well done indeed. So I think one thing that we first have to talk about is because of you wearing the AEW shirt, we have to talk about how James was in the Rampage promo that aired about almost 1 year ago on TV.
Yeah, it was last August, so yeah, just over a year now.
Yeah, and tell me, how did that come to be that you got to be part of that amazing experience?
Man, it was really one of those freak things that happened. I was not even looking for it at the time, but I had heard that the show was coming to town, and I was talking with a couple of friends, couple of actor friends, said, "Hey, you heard they're looking for actors for something coming up with Rampage. We think it has something to do with Darby Allin." I thought that'd be pretty cool, and I didn't think much else of it. And then a couple of days later, I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, we got this plug. We've seen you've been involved with wrestling shows in the past. What do you think of this one?" And I gave him a call. I submitted. Didn't hear anything back for a few days. But you do a lot of submissions as an actor. Maybe you hear, maybe you don't. And then a couple of days before the show, I got the call. Said, "Hey, are you available? Because Darby needs a crew of guys here. Grab your skateboard if you got one." Which used to be a favorite pastime of mine, riding a skateboard. Although it was a lot of years in between, so that was fun getting reacclimated. But yeah, we actually officially became part of Darby's Derby Gang, and that's what we were known as for the first episode of Rampage. We pretty much tore up the streets of Pittsburgh on skateboards, Oakland and downtown Pittsburgh. It was a great time. Darby leading the pack, of course. We were all painted up like Darby Allin, and we had a hot hand at the time. Man, the whole city was watching us. It was hilarious in a good way, though. We had a blast.
Yeah. There wasn't any accidents or anything with the skateboards or any problems with that?
Nothing serious. Like myself, it's been many years since I'd been on one. I used to be pretty darn good at one, but I did take a fall twice. Landed on my rear end, as I've taught myself in the past, both times. A lot of people were this. I didn't feel too bad about it. The fact that I only fell twice, I thought was actually pretty good odds. Those were good numbers. But then the test was in the very end. The last hill we took, I decided to take a hill with Darby in Oakland, and it's one of the steep ones by the Peterson. Yeah, I made it about 3/4 of the way down before they cut anyway, and about 10 seconds after that, I took a ride off the end of mine. But we had a blast taking that hill, man. Probably not my brightest idea, but there's no way I wasn't taking that hill with Darby.
Oh, yeah.
It was so much fun. So I got to relive my youth.
You literally went into Rampage mode.
Yeah, we were hoping for Sting to make an appearance too, but we had a blast with Darby, man, and he was real cool, and everybody treated us well.
That's awesome. So did you get a lot of feedback and everything? Did people be like, "Hey, I saw you in the promo," and
yeah, people were just blown away. How did that happen? Where did you find this? You know what I mean? Like, did you just happen to walk over there? They needed somebody. I'm like, no, it was just they were actually looking for actors as opposed to standing outside holding the sign going, "Hey, who can ride a skateboard?" They actually were, they wanted to know about actors that could ride a skateboard or a bike or a motorcycle, something like that could get involved in. So that kind of narrowed down the pack a little bit. But people were like, yeah, they were really pleasantly surprised. Like, that was the first episode. Like, it was part of history, Might not have been the biggest thing on there, but to be a part of that piece of history, man, that's something I'll never forget.
Definitely. And I feel that it's good. Is there any plans to do anything more like that if that comes across your way, or?
Yeah, I'm always open to it. I always like getting involved, especially in the pro wrestling world when there's something that I can do and mix and mingle a little bit. I've been doing my own stunts for years anyway, so fortunately, those are kind of the things that find me when they come to town. If they need a guy that can act and pull off stunts, and that knows a little bit about the pro wrestling industry, as I've followed my entire life, and having worked on Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies and done a few other things in the past like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of a comfort zone for me, and I get to have a lot of fun.
So, do you have some of your favorite wrestlers from AEW right now? People that you really enjoy watching?
Oh man, so many. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites just came back the other day, MJF.
There you
go. Got to be the top heel in wrestling right now. Anybody can say what they want about him, but the guy's getting it done, man. He's turning a lot of heads, good, right, wrong, or indifferent, man. He's making it happen, and so that's something. You haven't really seen one like him in probably 20 years, and so that's one. Darby Allin, of course, love Darby Allin, man. Not just because I worked with him, but because he's just that much different. He defies the odds every day, you know what I mean? And he's a daredevil, man, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
There's just so many greats. I like Hangman Adam Page. I think he's we haven't even seen what he can do in the business yet. I think his best is yet to come. So Kenny Omega. There's just so many, man. The list goes on. But I love what Tony Khan's doing. I love what AEW is doing, and I think it's something fresh. Whatever they might be saying about drama backstage, whether it's a work or not, I don't care, man. I'm enjoying it. I think that they're offering the public something different that we haven't seen, and I think it's pretty cool.
Any favorite female wrestlers on AEW?
Yeah, Thunder Rosa all the way. Thunder Rosa is absolutely one of my favorite. I got to actually interview her on the Pin the Shoulders podcast when I used to help co-host that a few years back when she was still with Lucha Underground, and so that was pretty cool. And I kind of followed her career before that and ever since, and I really, really love what she's doing. And I kind of I like the whole like the luchador style and everything like that. And Lita was always one of my favorites. So when Thunder Rosa entered the picture, she was this girl that just stood out above the rest again to me. And the face paint just adds to to the repertoire. And I think she's really, really something cool out there,
man. So do you enjoy her rival with Britt Baker?
I do, man. Because Britt is at the top of her game right now, and I think that they really complement each other well. Two completely different styles, two different people, and I think that's what makes for great art and great storytelling. I love they're paired up with Toni Storm. I think it's helping elevate Toni too, and I think that, they have a really great, strong women's division, and I think that's only going to get better too.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of excited now that they have Athena as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, it's like I said, that division's just getting stronger and stronger, and it's really, really cool to see what they're pulling off. And I can't wait for Thunder Rosa to come back and join the mix again. But right now, let's see what Toni can do. She's got the strap, and only time's gonna tell, right?
Exactly. So let's talk about. Let's talk about your latest project, the 12th Letter. We have shared stuff in Dan-A-Plooza Facebook page, and I know that you got to work with wrestler James Storm. So how was working with that?
Yeah, again, we meshed those worlds. It was awesome. James is fantastic, and it was great to see how dedicated he is to the craft too. Because I'm usually the one that's out there just totally in the zone and focused and getting on set early, and just like myself, that's what James does. He wanted to get the set early, he wanted to walk it down, he wanted to look at everything, you know what I mean, and see how we wanted to break things down and dissect it. And to me, that was real refreshing because, you've been on set with me, Dan, and that's how I am. I want to know what's going to happen from start to finish, and, I want to get invested. And James was a breath of fresh air, man. He really brought something awesome to the table. Loved working with him. Our dynamic together is his two ex-soldiers, haven't been to war, really, really, really meshed well together. He in the Army, my character in the Marines. I thought that brought something really, really cool to the table, a nice little element. But yeah, man, love working with James.
Yep. Did you talk any wrestling offset, or was it mostly just for the film?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Nothing extravagant because we had a short period of time to get a lot of work done.
Right.
And so they had the Impact anniversary the following day as we were finishing. So, he had to get up to that show. So we talked about that a little bit, nothing that we could really let out of the bag at the time because nobody knew it was coming. So that was kind of cool to get a little firsthand knowledge of what they had going on. But yeah, we got to talk a little bit about it, but we were really focused on the film, and I think that's what really brought a lot to the table for he and I, is that we were just dedicated to that project and making it happen. And so, but how can you not be a fan too? I mean,
oh yeah,
it's done. Bear Money, AMW, man, I'll always be a fan. Those were just two tag teams at a time when other promotions just weren't promoting tag team wrestling, and he was in two of the best tag teams of the last 20 years, the last 25 years.
Yep, I always liked his catchphrase, "Sorry about your damn luck."
Absolutely. And what a singles career he's had as well. So, man, it's just, just constantly continuing to evolve. So I wish him well with everything in the future too.
Oh yeah, I've met him before, and he's probably one of the most down-to-earth guys that I've probably met in the squared circle.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just like you or I. You know what I mean? Big family guy. You know what I mean? So we get to talk family a lot, and how he is a regular guy, but also you know what I mean, how he carries himself like a professional. We separate the two, right? And so yeah, really cool, man. Proud to call him a friend, and happy that we got this project together.
Again, Nathan, thanks for watching. And this will be the third birthday shout out I've given you today, but thanks, Nathan.
Happy birthday, Nathan.
So yeah, I know when I met him, I think we talked about beer. I think that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
But it is a good topic to talk with him.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So is the 12th letter, is it going to come out like just like streaming, or is it going to come out like in DVD form? What is the final format going to be when it comes available?
Well, I mean, obviously we'd like to take the approach of it coming out on all, distribution platforms. But right now we got a couple people in mind that we're pitching to. So to take you backwards in time a little bit, this is based off a book that's coming out, The 12th Letter. So we finished the film and the book pretty much at the same time. They're both coming out. There was a lot of interest from the book to the creators, producers at PureFlix. Some of the creators of the series, The Chosen, had a lot of interest in it. They wanted to see what this thing would look like. So we hurried up and got, putting ourselves to pencil to paper and trying to outline this and see what would happen. Our writer, Jackie Havorka, who's written many great novels, has this one out, and it's getting a lot of publicity behind the scenes right now, even though it's not out just from the people that have seen it. But they really were interested in this and thought that this could be something cool. So we're really pitching hard to PureFlix, but we're not, going to count ourselves short anywhere. We're talking to everybody, Netflix, Hulu, whoever has an interest in it. And because we think it has a lot of potential, we got a lot of really key elements. The topic of PTSD and 22 a day is something very near and dear to everyone's hearts. It's something very real in this world. Mm-hmm. Something that's been around for decades and decades, but we're just finally putting a name to it and being able to find a way to treat it. But something people have been suffering from for a very long time. So to take on a role like this was was a blessing to be able to do, to try to help people that are actually dealing with this.
Yeah, and it does speak for me, because my stepdad suffered from it, from being in Vietnam War. So sometimes he would have flashbacks during the evening hours, So I'll be interested to see how that deals with that, because I learned more about that once I talked to him more. And so I feel like it's important for us to kind of learn these things, so that way we can really indulge and see how we can be more supportive as people.
True, absolutely, man. Because unless you're there dealing with it, you really don't have a grasp on it, And even when you think you do, just going around doing research and talking to other veterans who've been dealing with it, to find out just how many of them are actually still dealing with it today.
Oh yeah.
It's really hard to do it justice when you're trying to put that together and become that character. But I'm so thankful to get to sit down and talk with them, to see what they're going through, to see how they live their daily life. because it's not easy, man. And what they've been through is something very serious and something that needs to be taken care of. 22 a day.
Oh yeah.
22 a day too many, man. Enough's enough. We got to find a way to help the people that fought for this country and
oh yes,
for so many years, man. And it's not just the veterans, you know. I mean, there's a lot of people that have dealt with real life trauma that that deal with PTSD every day as well. People don't realize you don't know what the person you just meet down the street has been through in their life, and what they're battling on a day-to-day basis. So, put yourself in their shoes, and it's you create a whole different world for mindset.
Oh yeah, I'm always about to not judge really anybody by their cover. You have to look within them to see what it is they're truly about.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, man. I mean, I think as we get older, we start to learn to read things a little better than we do, in our youth.
Oh, yes.
So just to try to bring this to life and to give it the justice that it deserves, man. I'm just honored and privileged to be able to step into that role and play Trey Reynolds. And there's a lot of really cool elements to this film too. I think that'll speak to a lot of people. There may not or may not be something to do with what we could call time travel. There's a little bit of past and present meshing their worlds so much without actually leaving your present time. There's a little communication with the past in this film too.
Definitely. I like that you mentioned time travel. Does it have a little bit of influence because you're a Back to the Future fan?
But to me, Back to the Future influences everything. But no, it's just I just happen to fall into the right story. Anything with time travel always speaks to me, and so you're always got my ear when I hear that. I want to kind of see what kind of twist you can put on things. But there's, I mean, two different worlds taking place at the same time. Like if you ever seen the Lake House with Sandra Bullock,
yes,
and Keanu Reeves, where they're living 1 year, I think it was, apart, and in the same house and meeting the mailbox. Well, in this case, Trey's renovating an old house. Once he gets back from the war, he's basically lost his leg. He's lost his girlfriend, and he's moved to Texas to a new place and renovating this old place that was actually built in the 1800s, and then Galveston, Texas, and was actually part of a very real flood. Is what this story was based on.
Oh wow!
But they killed a ton of people, so it was an orphanage, and the sisters were taking care of the kids, and you know what I mean. And so he ends up talking to one of the sisters through an old diary that was left behind in the house. So he finds a diary, thinking that she's not really going to be able to talk to him, So he figures, I don't really want to talk to people. I'm not in that place right now, but maybe I can open up in this book, and maybe this is how I can kind of find my therapy, my peace of mind. And only to find out that she's actually reading it in the past and answering him from 100 years earlier is pretty cool.
Wow.
I'm not going to say how or why. I don't want to give away too much, but that communication, man, it throws a whole different element into this film, and they're kind of helping each other at the same time.
Very cool. And you have an event tomorrow. Do you want to mention that for anybody who wants to come and attend that? Your Hockey-Palooza?
Yeah, Hockey-Palooza tomorrow in Pittsburgh, if you're in the area, at 31 Sports Bar and Grill, owned by former Pittsburgh Penguin Ken Reggett. We are going to be there from 2 to 10, I believe, and it's for Assisted Goals Foundation for the youth and the kids that can't afford hockey equipment and ice time and things like that. It's to kind of help the children and get them acclimated to the sport, and because it's a very expensive sport.
It is.
I played hockey my entire life, and it cost a lot, and we had to put ourselves through a lot just to make it. So I get it, I know where they're coming from, and I'm really happy it has to be a part of this event. There'll be a lot of Pittsburgh Penguin alumni, Pittsburgh celebrities will be around. So come on down if you can, help support, come meet us. You know what I mean? We want to talk with everybody and help the kids out, man. Please stop by if you're in here.
Definitely. I know I used to play hockey when I was a kid in the cul-de-sac. We used to play roller hockey, and I didn't have a goaltender, so I'd use a football helmet, and I would use stuff from other sports. I would use soccer shin guards, baseball glove. I was very saving money on playing this sport. The only thing I think I bought was a hockey stick and the puck.
Even street hockey, right? I mean, there's so much expense involved, but you got creative as a kid, man. Tying the magazines around your shins and, using your skateboard helmet because you didn't buy a hockey helmet or whatever it took. Yeah.
Definitely. We did. We used to play where I live. We used to play in a roller hockey league. and we used to play on the basketball courts. So we used to have the chain link fences, and I know that I know sometimes there was a lot of us that just used equipment from other sports, or we'd be like, "Here, you want my knee pad? You can have my," just really sharing the equipment.
Oh yeah, whatever it took, man. We would play for hours, and it's funny you said the chain link fences, because whether we used a street puck or a ball, it always ended up stuck in the fence. Somebody took a wicked slap shot. It took you 5 minutes to get it out of the chain link.
Oh yeah.
But it kept us entertained for hours upon hours.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Reminds me of my youth, and I feel that it's a good sport and everything like that, because like it teaches you like with the teamwork, and then like even if you aren't like the best kind of skater, you can kind of like learn as you go along.
Oh yeah, and it helps build like team strength and support, and just kind of, especially if you can't play on the ice because it is so expensive. So it gives you a way to be close to the sport too, right?
Oh yeah.
I remember we couldn't get jerseys at one time. We were little kids, and we used to just draw the numbers and our name on a white T-shirt.
Wow.
We come up with whatever logo you want. You know what I mean? Everybody had their team on 2 different colored shirts, and that's how you did it.
We just did it by whatever sport jersey you're wearing. Okay, you're Bears. You're this.
All right, you can be the pink clown. Yeah. Yep.
Why did you pick that sport team? You're on your own team.
Exactly. You can't play with us. Good times, man. Good times.
Indeed. I definitely feel like it's definitely a time good sport. So with the pandemic kind of like moving forward and being in the rear, are you able to kind of do like more in-person stuff and less kind of like Zoom work?
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, man. There's still a lot of online and a lot of Zoom. Even the auditions I get from my agents, 95% of them are still, video self tapes. And so, because it's just what the business has become right now, and actually sometimes it's a time where you can sit down at night, put your tape together, set up your lighting the way you want. So there's pros and cons to it. Mm-hmm. I miss being able to go into the studio and auditions in person, and because I feel like I sell myself a lot better in person. I like to fill the room out, meet people, talk.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there are pros and cons to both, and so we're slowly getting back to the in-persons. We're back on set. We're all doing that again, and it seems like the masks are fewer and far between now. So knock on wood, we hope it stays that way for everyone. But we're getting back to somewhat of normalcy here in life, whatever that might mean. But we're starting to feel like people again, and we're not trapped indoors all the time. So that's kind of nice to be able to get out and do that. But I kind of think there's still going to be a lot of Zoom meetings for some time to come. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what we're moving toward, I think.
Definitely. Now, is there a dream actor that you would want to work with? If you had your choice of anybody?
Yeah, hands down, Michael Keaton.
There you go.
I got a lot of them though. Michael J. Fox, Michael Keaton, a lot of the Michaels. Yeah. So yeah, there's a couple of them out there, but if I have to name one, it's definitely Michael Keaton. Still my favorite Batman. I'll argue that.
Oh yes.
The days, but my opinion. But.
And can we include Michael Kane in there as well?
Yeah, I actually got to work with Michael Kane. That one I did. I did some stand-in work with him one night for an actor that he was acting with. It was just the 4 of us. I got to spend a whole night with him in Pittsburgh. You just kind of pick his brain and watch him in action, man. So. Yeah, I can kind of, I guess, technically cross him off the list just because we worked together, even though I didn't get to share the scene with him. But just to have that time with him, man, that was super cool. But yeah, you can put Michael Caine on the top of any list.
Definitely.
Right, 100%.
Oh yeah, it's definitely an amazing actor. I know one of my favorite actors is John Lithgow from Third Rock from the Sun. So that's a dream actor for me to work next to, because I love his seriousness, and I love that he has played very zany, over the top characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, and so well. It comes
Oh
off
yeah,
natural, man. You believe and you love everything he does, whether he's good or bad, right?
definitely.
Just can't wait to see what he's gonna do next. Yeah,
Yeah, because when I
that'd be
see
a good
him
one.
from the Third Rock from the Sun, versus oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember. I want to say I thought it was Cliffhanger that he was the bad guy. I was trying to remember, but
Right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, man, he's done so much over the years. I went all the way back to Harry and the Hendersons, right? And,
exactly. I remember that.
so, yeah,
There
he's
you go.
had a wonderful career, man. A wonderful career. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then even with Planet of the Apes, when he was a part of that series as well too.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. Just fantastic. Yeah, so many great people. You hope you get to work with someday. You probably can't even name them all in one night, But
Nah.
those would be a couple to reach for, though, right?
Yeah. Would you ever consider like because sometimes there are some cheesy, would you ever consider doing like a cheesy horror movie, or are you more kind of like you want to do more action films, or are you more open to everything?
Yeah, I try not to really cancel anything out. I kind of learned that a long time
Yeah.
ago. There are things I lean toward. You know what I mean? Like I like action, I like drama, I like comedy.
Hmm.
But I've done a lot of horror, and I've made a pretty good name, especially on the independent scene for myself through horror. So, yeah, I've done the zombie films, and I've done more dramatic horror. So, yeah, I would definitely do it again in the right situation. If it's something that I haven't done before, it's got to bring something different to the table that I haven't got to
Yeah.
do in my career yet, character wise, story wise.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think sometimes cheesy sells the best because I mean, if you look at it, that's really some of what sells in the horror industry more, right?
Oh yeah.
Horror fans are really and truly among the most faithful in the film business. They allow you to make
True.
mistakes. They're okay with you making mistakes. They
Oh,
don't
I'm
hold you to the high standard and shoot you down because they didn't like your stunt, right? They're very forgiving, man, and so you got to love the horror fan. I got
oh
nothing but
yes.
respect for that world. So, because and they do a lot of really cool things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely do it again. There's a lot that I love about that side of the business, but I just love being able to do everything. Just to make yourself more rounded, man. I like to do horror on this film, and maybe I'll go and do comedy on the next set, just to keep your mind more rounded and
Oh yeah.
not always in one place, and you feel like you're constantly climbing and reaching for that ring, right?
Yeah, that was because I made that point earlier with one of my guests. I call it the constant climb, where you're climbing to the next plateau or on the mountain, and even though you may get knocked or, a little bit swayed, it's the journey and to take what is happening all around you in.
Oh, for sure, absolutely, man. And that's what I mean. If you learn a little something on each set you're on, whether you were there for a day or a month or a week
Hmm.
or 6 months, whatever the case might have been, you know what I mean. You take something positive from it, and you take it into your next project. That's growth. And I think you have to. And if you meet somebody new and you make a new connection, there's so many opportunities each day that you get to come onto a set, man. And I think until you actually get to do it, you don't really understand that world. But once you're there, man, it's unlike any other. Dan, you've been there with me. You're still there.
Oh yeah.
It's it's a thrill and a rush like no other, man. And I love every opportunity I get to come out and do that.
Yep. Is there anything else you would like to say or promote on Dan-A-Plooza as we wrap it up?
Just please keep an eye out for the 12th letter because we've only just begun on
Okay.
that. We're real proud of what's happening there. If you can stop out to Hockey Palooza in Pittsburgh tomorrow, and just keep an eye out. We have other things coming out later this year. We got the Paranauts, paranormal film that we worked on during COVID and before COVID. It took us a while to finish. That'll be coming out. So I want to thank everybody for your continued support, man. I appreciate all of you, and thanks for reaching out and following my career and taking an interest in me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, everybody, I'd like to thank you for watching Dan-A-Plooza. I'd like to thank my guest, James Quinn. Dan-A-Plooza will be back in October with 4 dates. We're going to have the 7th, the 13th, and the 16th, and we're looking on having a special cosplay panel also for Halloween. So lots of Halloween stuff on Dan-A-Plooza. Thank you, James Quinn. We will wish you the best of luck on your success, and we always look forward to you coming back. And have a good night.
Thanks for having me, Dan. Good seeing you.